Hello and welcome to The Discriminating Gamer, the board game review show whose 401k is more like a 401 I haven't started it yet. And I'm not getting any younger. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Runebound Unbreakable Bonds expansion from Fantasy Flight Games. In the Runebound expansion, Unbreakable Bonds from Fantasy Flight Games, 1 to 4 players, of course, can take on the role of these kind of mythic heroes in Fantasy Flight Games' Terranoth universe, which encompasses other games like Rune Wars Miniatures, Descent, several other games that they've put in this kind of their generic fantasy universe. And it's a pretty fun place to play. I also like Battle Lore quite a bit. Now, the game, essentially, what this expansion brings to it is, first of all, you can do a solo variant and you can do a cooperative variant. But there's a lot of other little things you can do in this game as well. The game is going to come with, of course, a mountain of new cards, new item cards, new mission cards, adventure cards, all sorts of new cards that have, of course, bring kind of new elements to the game. You also have a few other different things that are going on. Because the game now, you can treat it as cooperative. You have kind of a better trading mechanic where you can trade items, trade weapons, those sorts of things between players. You also have prepare actions and prepare tokens, and this essentially lets you bank actions. So you can take an action from one turn and then bank it toward the next turn. You also have specific enemy tokens. This is a game where it doesn't have dice, it doesn't have card combat. You have the tokens, you shake up and you drop, and you have specific enemy tokens for when you're fighting those enemies. You also have 4 different combat boards that kind of help you break down specific combat when you're attempting it with certain enemies. You also have twist cards, which are shuffled into the asset deck. So they come up, and they're going to kind of provide some different and kooky, weird adventures that will occur during the game. You also have envelopes. Envelopes are a way, again, you can trade items across the board. It's like you're sending somebody something, which is kind of an interesting way to trade items when you're not right next to each other. You can form parties. Essentially, you can pool your resources, your skills. You can get cards that give you like party skills, so you have like shared new skills, which is very cool. And of course, every new card in this set has the little expansion icon. Now, again, this is just kind of a basic overview of some of these new things that are coming with this expansion. I'm not going to get into the rules of Runebound. You can check out my Runebound review for that. But essentially, that's what this game brings to it, is solo and cooperative play with a few kind of rules and tweaks, and then as well as a lot of different cards that kind of enhance the game in general. Now, let me tell you right now, when I first played Runebound, I really enjoyed it. But my problem with the game was it feels, as you're playing the game, because you're all going up against this enemy, it feels like it's a cooperative game. But it is not a cooperative game. It is it's a competitive game. You're each trying to win. And yet it felt cooperative. Well, that was always a disconnect for me. That was always the thing I could never really wrap my head around, is that it was a competitive game, but it felt cooperative. And of course, this expansion addresses that. It turns it into a fully cooperative game, which is good. Now, I can't address the cooperative game, but I can tell you the solo game is actually pretty fun. The solo game, of course, it's not going to be much different, but of course, you do have some of these other items and things come into play throughout it, and it's a fun way to play it. It's a fun and engaging way to play the game. The setup's a little different. There's a few other little things there, but this is a fun adventure game that you can now have on your own. In reading through the stuff on cooperative play, it looks really good, and I apologize I didn't get a chance to do it. I'm getting ready for the move, and I just didn't have time. So I apologize about that, but I think that's going to be awesome. I think that's going to be a great way to play it, and solo was really fun. And this is just a fun, exciting adventure game. So really what I'm getting at here is if you own Runebound, you like Runebound, and you want to spice it up, and you've had a problem with that lack of cooperative gameplay from Runebound, you'll want to pick this one up. It's more of a good thing if you love Runebound. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We ask you to please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. We are The Discriminating Gamer, and just remember, ladies and gentlemen, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you still probably can, so I wouldn't worry about it.
Please somebody help me on my feet again, and I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I'll be dying. Once a year I wind up in the band.
In all seriousness, this means so much to me. I promised myself I wouldn't do this.